you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And It's the 4th TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's gonna be sick.
Tell you what, man, I want to know how many times in a row I'm going to hear that intro and not crack a smile. I'll be honest, because it's just not something we've heard much of as Titan fans, and to know that we got someone who can do that in his rookie year is pretty great. Guys, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. I'm joined as always by my two counterparts, Jarett and Vin. We are live once again, which we are continuing to do more often. We love the feedback that you guys are providing for us when we go live, so we're going to do it live once again. Boys, something I want to talk about real quick before we get into anything else. I didn't realize this, but the Titans put out an article about 4 days ago with number changes and free agent numbers. And at the bottom of that article were the number changes of current players. And I think we knew about Tajay changing his number to 2, which I fucking love. But there's a guy that's not on that list. So I think, I don't know, you tell me, is it safe to assume Levis is keeping Ocho or what? What do you guys think about that? Because I don't know how much longer I can wait. I gotta get the other Levis. Like I can't wait till the season tonight. I gotta have it for the summer. I have to.
Well, you got a big raise recently. You haven't gotten yelled at by your boss like me and Jarett. So you got a big raise. So you should get it. And if he changes it, get another one. It's only money, and you got plenty of it. So
That's it.
I think you're safe to do it, man. I mean, obviously, if he's on the roster, especially a pivotal position like the quarterback, and if he was going to change his number, it would definitely have been announced, especially with the free agents that we brought in. So I think you're safe with that.
Quarterback, you can only change it after the first year, right? You can't establish yourself unless it's a Rodgers situation and you're change the team in 15 years, maybe. But I think he's committed to 8 at this point. So
I feel like Levis is just one of those guys that I just wouldn't be surprised if, like, 3 weeks before the season starts.
No, I can't. I think that's a time.
You know what? I think I'm going back to my Kentucky number 7. I'm just saying, it's just because he just gives off that I don't give a fuck vibe, and it's got a lot of positive parts to that, but there could also be some kind of negative parts of that where he's just like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I hope I'm wrong, because like I said, by late Memorial Day, I gotta have the Levis.
Did you guys see that Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears with that combined is just 22? I think they did it. They were thinking about the Derrick Henry thing. I mean, I think that's pretty cool in my opinion.
Wait,
Tony Pollard's 20, Tajay Spears 22.
Cool. Well, we can only hope. We
That both of them are.
Jarett, I'll let you take the lead on the next part. I know we had some visits over the past few days. If you want to touch on that, we can dive into that.
Yeah, so first I just want to give a shout out to Titans Coliseum. They had me and Vinny on. I know you were working last night. Boy, it was fun on that show last night with those guys, Morocco, RJ, and Firestone. We had a little party last night, and we talked all things Titans. We had some jokes, so shout out to those guys over there as well. But to getting back into the visits that we had this week, meaning yesterday, we had Malik Neighbors, Sweat, and JC Latham coming to town yesterday. To me, and there's a rotation of wide receivers that's been coming in, cornerbacks. Carson, I mocked mock 2.0, a cornerback out of Wake Forest. He came last week as well. Rand Carthon's given this vibe of this is a deep O-line class. Sal, I know we haven't talked about it. I got Vinny's take yesterday. What's your take with Rand Carthon keeps saying it's a deep class at O-line? He's bringing all these wide receivers in now.
I'm staying.
Is it safe to say that Rand may pull the trigger at wide receiver? Because now you got the quarterback. Hold on 1 second. You got the Chargers. You got the Chargers posting videos now of their offensive line coach or their GM, whoever it was. I don't even know who it was, saying that you have to build O-line in the draft, and we're going to do that going forward. It's going to be fun for an offensive lineman to come here. We want the best offensive lineman. You keep hearing that name. Is it all bullshit that the Chargers are stirring up, that they want somebody to jump in front of the Titans or the Giants to come acquire more picks? The Chargers get that, or do you think the Chargers are really going to lay down a law and draft a Joe Alt?
Go ahead, Vin.
I think the Chargers have their eye on trading back, and they're going to do so with Minnesota. I think they'll get 11. They'll get 23. And I think at 11, they're targeting Latham. I think they like Slater at left tackle. Latham is a natural right tackle, even though last night, and I'm sure we'll touch on it again, spoke about him potentially having the ability to move the left tackle. I'm a believer, and I want a natural left tackle. But I think the Chargers' play is to trade back with Minnesota, pick up 11, pick up 23, take Latham. This way they'd have Slater, they'd have Latham, their bookend tackles to protect their franchise quarterback. And then Minnesota go gets their guy, J.J. McCarthy, most likely. That's personally, I think, what they do. But you know as well as I, everyone is throwing shit out. Who's a diva? What we utilize or what we think is more important at this position as opposed to this position. A lot of posturing, a lot of GMs, coaches playing possum. I wouldn't dive too much into what he said about the O-line and him taking Alt at 5. I think they have their left tackle. I think they want to do, if they're going to do it, they're going to move back and take Latham at 11.
For me, it's still Alt. You got to find a way to get Joe Alt. That's what I want. He looked like he was sculpted by the hands of God to play left tackle. You got the lineage there. I mean, it's just everything seems to be, that just seems like the last star that needs to be aligned. I mean, it just does. Would I be upset if we drafted one of the top 5 receivers in the draft at 7? No. Anyone who's known me on Twitter or whatever for the last 5 years knows I always just want more and more offensive weaponry, as everyone else does too. But I tend to lean more towards flashy rather than safe. But now is a different situation because of our general Mr. Levis. So with that being said, I still think they should try to get Joe Alt. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Even if they're cautious and nervous, and they feel they have to jump one spot up to get him, I think they have to get their generational, decade-long left tackle. And I think, I'm no expert, but I think with the coaching, I think with the film on Joe Alt, this will be the guy. Obviously, we'll have to give him a major bag after year 5 if we're going to keep him for another 5 years, which hopefully we will. But this is the guy that's going to be growing with Will Levis and hopefully protect his blind side in the Super Bowl sooner than later. So that's been my stance. It's going to continue to be my stance. I said on the video I posted, I'm not alting away. I'm not going away from it. That's what it is. But I mean, forget it. You don't think I'm going to give a little side eye smirk if we draft Malik Neighbors at 7? No, of course. It's going to be sick. But I mean, that just raises more questions about his health and protection. I don't want to do that anymore, so.
Oh, I feel you on that. And another thing that gets me is last year we went all offense in the draft. This year, with offense being so deep and we have a lot of holes to fill on defense, if we do go all – see, that's why I'm all in favor of the trade back. I mean, everybody can say, and I know you guys want the left tackle. There's a lot of left tackles over here. You got Latham you can get at 11. Ola, another one you can get at 11 if you trade back with Denver. And you have Graham Barton out of Duke. These guys are, just because they're 7th on the list, I'm looking at the list right now, 1 through 7. These guys are all starters in the NFL, in my opinion.
Listen,
that's how deep this class is.
If we trust our guys, then do it. But if they fuck up again, then we're gonna be pissed. My
thing is, if we do acquire that pick, now we can attack more holes to fill on this offense and defense. Because if we do go all or alignment of some sort in the first round, right? Do you want to address the wide receiver room again? At 38, when we have a glaring need at defensive line, a glaring need at linebacker, and a glaring need at edge.
We don't need a receiver at all this year in the draft.
Yeah, but possibly. Okay, but if Treylon Burks is not Treylon Burks, then you got to keep chasing that next wide receiver to pair up with Will Levis for the next 4 years now. DeAndre Hopkins, if we don't re-sign him next year, we're looking for another wide receiver. That's what I'm saying. We're looking for another wide receiver. Are we going to pay T. Higgins if he doesn't get traded? Who knows?
That'll be an option.
But this wide receiver class is so deep that we need that extra 3rd-round pick. Not an extra one. We need the 3rd-round pick that we don't have to acquire a possible wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round, depending on how everything goes in this draft.
I trust Callahan, Carthon, and all the scouting talent that we have. After last year's draft, obviously it wasn't a slam dunk, but it was pretty fucking good. I trust them until they give me a reason not to trust them. So I won't be upset if they trade down. I won't be upset if they take receiver. I would be a little disappointed if Alt was there and they took the other kid from Penn State. I'll be honest, that would make me a little upset. But again, I'm going to trust in them, so they can do no wrong by me at this moment. But they better keep this kid safe. That's for damn sure. And they better not try to cut any corners to do so. We've seen it many a times. It takes one really bad injury to absolutely ruin someone's career. And I think we all can say we've witnessed it firsthand over the past, better part of a decade. So whatever they do, I'm going to trust. But, you don't cut corners.
I said it last night, I'm so keen on taking a left tackle. If Joe Alt is gone or they want to trade back, even if he is there, first off, I'm on the record saying if he's there and you're at 7, you take him. If he's gone, or even if you want to trade back for that 3rd round pick that, we all want so bad, I would trade back to 11, 12 and get Ola, the tackle from Penn State. That's how keen I am on wanting a left tackle for this team. Because, Sal, I agree with you. I am over having to worry about the protection of our quarterback. We were historically bad at the position the last 2 years. Historically bad. We are fortunate enough that this is a deep tackle class, and the best rated one might fall to our lap at 7. And if he's not there or you want to trade back, there's a few other guys that are pretty close to can't miss prospects. I'm so keen on a tackle. If it's Malik Neighbors, will I be mad? No. But at the end of the day, I do think then we're going to really need to invest heavily in the rest of the draft on the offensive line, or maybe even free agency, to solidify a group to protect this kid. I understand the receiver argument, Jarett, that next year D-Hop's probably going to be gone. Treylon Burks is probably going to be on the team unless we trade him, because he's here for at least the next 2 years. We're not going to pick up his 5th-year option, but he still has his 3rd and 4th year. I understand the argument for receiver. I'd like to worry about that when the time comes, but in the present, we don't have a left tackle. And I think Joe Alt is a surefire thing, along with the fact Callahan has a history of coaching up top 10 picks at the left tackle position into Pro Bowlers, into All Pros. So like I said, do the right thing. It's not the sexy thing. It never really is. But the mature fan out there wants a left tackle this year.
Yeah, the mature fan absolutely wants left tackle. But I will say this. And this guy has been someone that I've just continuously liked more and more and more and more throughout this whole draft process. If Rome's there at 7 and we took Rome, man, I'm going to be pretty fucking hyped, because without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to be going into the season with the greatest weaponry in the air we've ever had since this franchise has been established. And that goes way beyond the years in Nashville. So, that would be incredible. Again, we'd have to not cut corners to protect this kid, and I hope they have a plan in place if we did take him. But my excitement would be at its highest if we got Rome. My comfort level and feeling as trustworthy in the staff would be if we took Alt, because if he's there and they're both there, that's just too smart of a decision to not make. But at the end of the day, I can only change so much. I'm still the same person I was 20 years ago. Rome is a fucking number 1, man. He really is a number 1, and we have 2 other number 1s. So it is what it is. We'll have to see. Now, what is it? It's going to be 2 weeks from Thursday, right?
Yeah, and like I said, that comment right there, everyone's saying that he's a plug-in play, all pro left tackle for the next 10 years. That's why I'm saying the Chargers, if they're saying that, are they just throwing that in the air for trade bait? Or they're just saying, you know what, screw it, I don't care. I'm taking the best offensive lineman, and we're going to build around our quarterback as well. I mean, they have Slater, yes, but that's why, like Vin, I love that idea that they're going to go Latham. Do they? Some people value Latham over Ola over Latham.
But Latham is an actual right tackle.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't think he's a bad player at all. It's just, we probably do need a right tackle as well, because that's up in the air. But that's not Will Levis's blind side. We have no left tackle on the roster. Can Latham play left tackle? I don't know. They said last night on the podcast that They heard he can. To me, I said it last night, it's a position you either are naturally born at and can play or you can't. I think it's very hard for a left tackle to play right and a right tackle to play left because everything is in reverse. I think, listen, if the Chargers took Joe Alt, then fine, because guess what? The 4 quarterbacks will be gone. Joe Alt will be gone. That means either Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, or Romo Dunes has to be there. You have that option. We could trade back to 10 and take your boyfriend, Brock Bowers. We could trade back to 12 and take Ola. You know what I mean? All while picking up that 3rd-round pick, hopefully. We're in a very good position because we can let this board come to us. I've been saying it. Listen, to me, in all this talk, I think we're going to end up taking Alt at 7. I think he will be there. I think it's the 4 quarterbacks and Marvin Harrison Jr. or Neighbors in the top 5. 6, I think the Giants have to take one of those receivers. I think Alt will be there in our lap at 7. And if he's not, you could take best player available, take O'Dunes, take Neighbors, but you better have something in mind for left tackle if that's the case.
I'm telling you right now, I don't think I genuinely think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be there at 7. I really do. I think a lot of teams are going to be very I don't know what the right word is for, like, not thrilled with the way he's acting.
Yeah,
right?
but
I understand
Arizona came out and said they're grabbing him. So
they can say whatever they want. Say whatever they want. But I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest with you as well, and I'm not. I mean this sincerely. After this whole draft process and everything, if he was there at 7 and Rome was there at 7, I'd probably still go Rome. I would go Rome now. All that bullshit throughout the last, the winter. Marvin Harrison. I like Rome more now. I like his work ethic. He seems like he's a first guy in, last guy out. And the way Marvin Harrison Jr. has been acting, it's just rubbed me the wrong way. I know he's the real deal, but like not even doing anything. Your pro day, like, bro, you're acting like you're already your dad, and you're not yet. But it is what it is. He's still going to be probably an elite talent, but Rome looks like a leader as well, as just as much as a elite talent. And I'd probably take the guy who can lead the receiver room over the guy who might perform just a little bit better. That's just me, though. I don't know about you two.
So Sal, we didn't get your take yesterday. We were talking about it. If we all agree on offensive line at some nature in the first round, how are you addressing this team in the second round with all the holes?
I'm going to be honest.
What position are you targeting?
I'm probably going defensive tackle in the second round. I'm probably going D tackle in the second round. I don't think anyone realizes right now we have one piece for interior, for interior defense. That's it. We have one good interior pass rusher. I don't want to hear anything about anyone else. Simmons is it now. So if you want to just kind of hope to God some of these players progress that we've had for a couple of years, that's fine. But, after the Snead deal got done, it was going to be corner until Snead rolled through. Now it's easily defensive tackle. I think that's our weakest. I know linebacker's not ideal either. But if you don't have any pass rush up front, it don't matter if you have fucking Luke Kuechly, you're going to have problems. So, I think that's the second need after O-line in all reality.
I like Darius Robinson a lot from Missouri, I believe.
Missouri.
Yeah, what's his name? Our boy Tehran loves him. I watched some of his highlights. He seems pretty nasty up front. Should be there at 38. This defensive tackle, and by the way, I agree with you, Sal. I think we need to attack the defensive line as well, big time. Not only in the second round, but I think they should invest a lot of those 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks in them and see if they can get lucky with one. I like Robinson a lot. I also this kid from Texas, Sweat, that just got the DWI. He could most likely be there in the second round, maybe even the third round, which we don't have a pick, but will definitely probably be there in the second. I don't know if pairing him up with Morgan Wallen in Nashville is a good idea at the moment, but he's a hell of a player. So, but I wholeheartedly agree that them going after Awuzie and Snead and still having McCreary and even guys like Elijah Molden who will get snaps, I think the defensive line is an area of need you need to get in the second round and then later on in the whole draft.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys out there like Brian Murphy from Texas too, as well. He was on the defensive line with Sweat, and then you have Newton that could possibly fall to the second round as well. So if everyone's eyeing these wide receivers and they're starting to go, and that D line starts dropping it, into the early second round, that's just going to be. I'll be licking our chops for either one of those guys too. Either two of the Texas guys or the Illinois lineman Newton. So I would definitely attack the defensive line because, like I said, even if we get Sweat, that's going to be a plug-and-play nose for us, okay? So he's just going to sit back and take up bodies for Jeffrey Simmons and whoever is on the right-hand side of us, all right? Because he's a really good run stopper, but, we need that now that we lost Autry. We don't have Tart no more. And when we had a big body in the middle of that defense, that's when our edges actually got to the quarterback. So he was demanding double teams. So we desperately need that in the draft. And if we can get that in the second round, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Sammy, any questions you want to throw up there while we're on here? I saw a couple. Anyone watching live, feel free to ask any questions that you want us to answer. We love to interact with you guys throughout the show, of course. But no, we'll see. We'll have to see. I mean, as always, everything comes down to how these players get picked, because each player that gets picked changes your board in a different way, okay? Maybe you had two guys at one position at best player available, and you thought they were both going to be there, and wound up none of them were there. Okay, now you got to absolutely change everything around. Who's the next best player available? What's the biggest need that's left? Somebody brought up linebacker. That wouldn't bother me either. We know that the positions we don't need at this moment. We know the positions that we could take anyway because of the value of the players that are there. But I think trading back is just not something I want to do. I know we don't have that third round pick, and I do trust Rand and company to do good with whatever they're offered, given, or asked for. But it's just, you don't get opportunities very often to pick in the top 10 in the NFL draft. And hopefully we don't ever want to be in this position again. So to remove ourselves from that top 10, for maybe a third rounder, I personally, with the players available this year, I don't see the value there. I don't see why that would make so much sense when you could potentially get a franchising altering player in this top 10 at the tackle position or the wide receiver position. Now, I know there's guys that are, it's a deep class, so you could get guys that could be all world players in the end of the first, second. But, we know the guys that have played against the best talent in college, have the best film, have the best pro day, etc. And, the odds are obviously in our favor that if we stayed at 7 and took someone, that they're going to help us in a major, major way in 2024. So,
no, I think that's a good point too, Sal, is that there are at least 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe surefire blue chip. I mean, the quarterbacks, you never know how they're going to grade out, but the positions that we're looking to draft, tackle and receiver, you could get a premier one at 7.
D-line too, man. D-line is deep as hell.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we throw a curveball in and take the edge from Alabama and really throw us all off.
At what pick? At what pick?
We're probably going to go in the top 10 or 12.
Yeah, no. That would piss me off.
This franchise and fan base will turn upside down.
Jarett said edge. That's the only reason why I said it.
No. I'm not saying you think that. I'm just saying if that ever happened.
At tackle, left tackle, and receiver, there are blue chip prospects that are pretty much as close to can't miss prospects as much as that term really you have to use loosely because no one really is can't miss. I mean, I don't think there's anyone out there who does not think O'Dunes, Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Joe Alt are not going to be good professional football players. And if you can get one of them, because the rule of mathematics says that one of them has to be there. If the 4 quarterbacks go, in the top 5, either O'Dunes, Marvin Harrison Jr., Neighbors, one of them, by the laws of mathematics, has to be there. Take one. I'm okay with it.
Somebody asked if I would be upset if we took Brock Bowers at 7. I honestly, I don't know. It's only because I think his value is top 10. I know he's the best tight end in the draft, probably the best tight end prospect in 20 years, but is he a top 10?
I don't know. Jarett might think so.
Listen, everyone's getting so afraid of the Brock Bowers. This is a versatile piece to an offense that can take this offense from here to here. Okay, he don't get it twisted that Kyle Pitts and him could possibly be the same thing. He put up 13 touchdowns and damn near almost 1,000 yards as a freshman in the SEC at Georgia.
Is he seventh pick?
He is seventh pick worthy. Kyle Pitts was what, 4 or 5, and he did that at Florida. Kyle Pitts is not existent in Atlanta.
Well, I think that's more because of his direction. I think he's going to be okay moving forward. He's not going to be out of the league anytime soon. He's going to be around for a while. He's just had so much hype behind him. But I think what Atlanta's doing over there, he's going to start picking up some steam because they got to use him as a fucking receiver. That's what he is. You know, they're just trying to get too cute with him. But regardless, I'll take your word for it. If you think he is top 10 material, listen, I've seen the film on him. I know you put him in an offense that is already high caliber. That forget it. I mean, you should have no issues scoring touchdowns regularly. It's just that, again, if we had a left tackle, I'd be like, fuck yeah, Brock Bowers. He mentioned he wants to play for us. You know, I mean, he seems like a for the boys kind of guy. Hell yeah. But we don't have a left tackle yet. So
you know you like him, Sal. You sent us a late night thought during the season, I think, and at 3 a.m. to tell us you were okay with it if they took him.
I watched about an hour and a half of his film.
I don't think he's the guy. I think they you know, he has talented as he is. I think they have bigger needs. You know, I don't need to keep repeating myself. The left tackle position is it for me.
All right, so just to change the subject now, since we're off the draft, did you guys see that FanDuel put out way too early AFC quarterback rankings? And our boy, Will Levis, is ranked 15 out of 16 AFC quarterbacks. Quarterbacks in front of him.
Go ahead.
Michael Penix, who is saying that they're getting drafted by the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, Drake May, who's going to be the quarterback of the Patriots per them, Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going to tell you what happened right there, okay? Whoever's in charge of this, I'm assuming it's the same guy or maybe small group of people. Whoever's in charge of this, let's assume it's one guy because I don't know why they have multiple people running a fucking Twitter account that has 10,000 followers. Well, no, they have more, but most of them are bots. So obviously what happened here is this guy had a girlfriend who he loved, who he really wanted to marry. And one day he came home from work and some guy wearing a Titan jersey was just fucking teeing off on her in their living room. That's obviously what happened because if you go throughout the history of FanDuel and their stupid fucking posts, they constantly put us in laughable positions that don't even make sense. I mean, I don't know how you give people who have not thrown one pass in the league a higher ranking than guys who, you know, threw for fucking however many yards, 4 touchdowns, you know, whatever the case may be. Nevertheless, that's why DraftKings is the top dog. We already knew that to begin with, but that just buried FanDuel. I mean, really, FanDuel, nobody should ever do FanDuel ever. I could not unpromote them more than I am right now. So that's that.
Jarett, did they have your boy Tannehill above him as a free agent?
No, Tannehill is not there. Gardner Minshew is 16 out of all those quarterbacks. And Gardner Minshew is better than all the quarterbacks above Will Levis, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, I agree. And listen, Ryan Tannehill is definitely on the top 5 list for most mentally unstable quarterbacks in the NFL.
I think the list is more indicative of the fact that people are just down on the Titans this year. I don't think it's as much on Will Levis. I think it's that they think the Titans team is in full-blown rebuild mode and that Will Levis is going to, you know, get the shit end of the stick because he's the quarterback for that team. That being said, we never get any respect from the national media. Very, very, very rarely in the history of the team.
Well, we're going to start now because we have a superstar. We have a Hollywood quarterback, which you've never had.
You better fucking hope so because
we do. We do.
Down bites, if he isn't of you, man, are going to be
awaken. There's no more agree with that, man.
Jinxes don't apply to Will fucking Donovan Levis. Okay, that doesn't apply to him.
Satanic black.
To worry about.
Sick shit.
Nah. He has a screen that blocks off any of that shit.
You missed the Sopranos reference right there.
Of course, I didn't miss it.
Well,
I'm gonna get that.
You left me hanging with my fucking,
I saw somebody the other day at the gym. I didn't want to go up to him because it would be super fucking cringe. But he had it was the the hands. It was a tattoo, and it said "Satanic Black Magic" with the fucking the way he did his hands. I almost went up to him, but that would have been incredibly odd.
And God forbid that's not the meaning of the tattoo. And
Yeah, it's like the name of a restaurant that his mom died at or some shit. That would be my luck.
All right.
Anyway, definitely gonna start to man. Yeah, no shit. It's gonna come with winning. That's it. Winning heals everything.
It's that and the slap in the face that we're getting. What, Vin? It's 6.5 now. The win total is.
Yeah, went from 5.5 at plus 115. I jumped on.
Yeah, because everyone's probably banging the 5.5 because they know
put
that
my whole raise
team,
on it. That's why.
Like I said last night, this team, if you really think about it and look down from top to bottom, what we did this offseason so far prior to the draft, this is probably one of the best offensive free agencies we've had in a long time. You brought in a running back to help out Tyjae Spears, one of the best offensive centers available, Calvin Ridley, Snead, Awuzie. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, how can't you think that the Titans are going to have a Bengals, and I said it last night, a Bengals type run next year? Okay, I said the floor last night was 8 wins for us. The ceiling is 11 for us. Okay, I don't care. We may have a little bumps and bruises, but you know what? Brian Callahan's going to have this offense humming, dude. Okay, and especially if we get a wide receiver in first or second round, watch out, man. I'm telling you right now, everyone's sleeping on him, and they can sleep. Okay, because Will Levis showed it. And what we talked about yesterday, Vin, how many games were we in where we could have 4 more wins last year?
Easily the same.
And the defense.
Both one of the Texans game, both
and 2 of the Colts.
Colts games, yeah.
Okay, so that's
and
4
the Steelers.
Games. Yeah, and the Steelers. Okay, if we had a defense, if we had capable players on the back end of our defense,
average left tackle.
They were fucking balls up.
Somebody that wasn't working at Ringling Brothers Circus as our fucking coordinator.
Or ShopRite, like I said. Or ShopRite, where they just grabbed anybody. And
I'd rather take the guy
just throwing the balls up, and they were throwing flags on Fulton. Throwing flags. I'm sick and tired of it. We got locked up corners now, and we got a great nickel. Okay, these guys, it's not going to happen no more. So I'm telling you, those 5 games that we're in, if we win 3 of them, we're in the playoffs. We win the division. So everybody, it's all bullshit with the 6.5. I'm telling you right now, this team is coming out firing this year.
All I know is if we ever won the division, there's no shot I'm not going to that game. No shot. I'll fucking walk there. I'll crawl backwards there if I have to.
I'd pay.
There's no way I'm missing Levis's first home playoff game.
I'll crawl backwards from North.
I'll get there. Hey, listen, I've been working out. I'll be able to do it pretty soon. I can do 1,000 miles backwards, no problem. Anyway,
so when they were the AJ Brown rumors came out, and my in-laws were breaking my balls and said, "Oh, the Eagles are going to trade for him," just said it as a complete joke. And then when I said, "Listen, if the Eagles trade for AJ Brown, I will walk from here, from Philadelphia to the Eagles to Nashville Stadium, the Titans Stadium."
I'll tell you what, though, that wound's finally healed. I'll be honest.
It's over and know it. And I'm not worried about
that. He got Jalen Hurts $50 million a year. Now the Eagles are stuck with it. So
yeah, I'm not worried about Stephon Diggs too in Houston. No. There's going to be a lot of tape on CJ Stroud now, and Diggs is an absolute diva in my opinion.
They have to be very fucking good. Very
okay. Well, you know what? CJ Stroud has to. Whoever we improve with the defensive line now with Jeffrey Simmons and our edges and everything, maybe Caleb Murphy's going to get a shot this year because I'm kind of done with Weaver. Give him a shot, and he's got to throw against our secondary now. All right. So and Diggs was locked up by Snead multiple times. All right. So
I mean, they just have talent all over. I mean, they're doing the right thing. They are loading their team with talent while their quarterback is on his rookie deal.
Same with us.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to be what they are because they were dog shit, and then they got a quarterback, and everyone said there were still going to be growing pains, and then they won the division. So we're trying to follow their lead, and I mean it's not a bad team to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, memory. I'm not saying that he's not a threat. Of course, he's a threat, But you got to see that what we did now this offseason by
we're a fucking threat.
Losing. Yes, we are a threat that he has to go against those guys now. All right. So, I mean,
you know what I can't stand, man? Like, I don't know. You guys obviously know what I do for a living. I don't know if you got anybody else doesn't know. I pretty much sell sports cards for a living online, and you get to essentially gamble to try to receive them on certain teams. And nobody ever wants the Titans. They never do. Everyone wants to mortgage their home to get the Texans, obviously, and the Colts, which again just blows my mind how people are still so enamored with getting Anthony Richardson rookie cards when the guy has done nothing yet. Nothing.
And he did nothing in Florida too. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I didn't watch him at all, so I would take your word for it. But the fact that nobody wants anything to do with this guy, and because they didn't watch him, and they don't know, because our fan base knows at least what his potential is at his best, what he did against the Dolphins, what he did in his debut.
There's no reason to really think he has bust potential. He did nothing last year to show us that he is not the guy. You know what I mean? He did really. There's not one game where he was complete dog shit. There was games where he played. He, underperformed because of the fact we have no left tackle. We only have one legit receiver. You know what I mean? What was his stat line? I think it was 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He started however many games. He was hurt most of the year. Yeah, there's no reason to believe that he couldn't, that he's bad. I just think it's not indicative on him. It's the fact that the national media and most regular everyday football fans are just out on the Titans. And listen, we haven't done much in the last 2 to 3 years to really prove that, we are something to worry about. So I understand it, and that's just me playing devil's advocate. But we're doing the right things, we're doing the right things.
Yeah, he had
8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, I think.
Yeah. 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had 1,800 yards.
50%, I know that. I think.
The fact that he had almost 2,000 yards in fucking 9 games with the worst freaking staff around him possible. I'm talking on field and off field. I mean, I don't know how. Again, nobody watched it, so I understand why the national media doesn't give us any respect. But, the people that are in our fan base that really genuinely don't even think there's anything left to still see, they believe he is not the answer. It blows my fucking mind. And I know some of it has to do with him being from Kentucky, which is so cringe. But, at the end of the day, I could have more confidence in him.
There's a religion down there. So you have diehard Tennessee fans, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's stupid too, but you also have to understand it's a religion down there.
Yeah, it could be, but they don't act like the Titans are religion to you then. That's fine. If the Vols are, good. They don't go online saying, oh my God, how dare any of you, root for this guy. What? Anyway, I think we're going to wrap up for today, guys. 45 minutes strong as usual. As I always do, I want to thank every single one of you guys that joined in with us today on our live stream. It means the world to us that you want to take any time out of your busy day to watch us talk Titan football. So thank you so very much, guys. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. We are the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. Make sure you like on the show as well. Hit that bell. Make sure you know when we're going live. The more of your support that we have, the more and more we can grow, and the better and better guests we can hopefully get as well in the future. We did an awesome job to do that so far. So appreciate all the love from everyone. And we're going to wrap it up for tonight. So hope everyone has a fantastic – you guys have anything you want to add before I'm sorry, I always ask that. Before we wrap up for the night?
You taking me and Jarett out to dinner with that big raise?
I don't know. Well, maybe when I get the fucking invite to your house, whenever that arrives, I'm waiting for it.
We're gonna start rolling the dice and talking the draft after this stream. So maybe we can announce something for the next stream. So
we got. By the way, even while we're live, we could still say, maybe that'll help this come together. We have to find a way. At least a couple of us got to be together, and we got to be live streaming for the first round. So we got to make that happen. I know, some of us have kids. That's gonna we'll have to work that out. Make sure I'll wear a muzzle if I show up.
kids. My kids. Listen, this is the domain. You guys have been down here. This is like the man cave, and I can lock this door, and everybody.
The Titans are going to
like
be
a cell down here.
11 o'clock.
We gotta watch you sometimes. We're like our kid. We never know when you're going to misbehave, and you need a little, one of them, So we got 4 kids. We got Jared's 3, and we got Sal.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. If we take Edge at 7, someone's getting slapped around. So let's
someone's getting slapped around. I think I'm gonna run off the George Washington Bridge. Forget about it.
All right, guys. With all that being said, I hope everyone has a phenomenal rest of their week, and we will catch you all on the flip. As always, tighten up. Sammy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.